Hello, and thank you for watching WISD TV and this special edition of Know Your Schools. My name is Dale Caffey. On this special edition of Know Your Schools, it's all about Know Your Summer Schools. I'm with Pennie Graeber, and Pennie is with the Curriculum Department here at the Waco Independent School District, and you have been working on summer school. In fact, we returned from the Christmas break in January, and it wasn't long before after that we had our first summer school meeting.
Yes.
So this is something that's not just thrown together. Talk about your work at trying to put together an effective summer school.
We start with the dates and the hosting campuses. That's really where it all has to start, making sure it's okay with maintenance and the campuses and things like that. And then we'll dive into the curriculum. What curriculum do we need to have available for all of the different needs all over the district? And then we start trying to guess at how many students are coming based on attendance, grade failures, and then STAR. And STAR really, we haven't even had our first STAR test. So we often use the district-based assessments to help us kind of project those numbers, because all the material has to be ordered before we get the results back. So it's kind of an interesting process. I've learned a lot this year.
Very interesting, and that's where those DBAs, district-based assessments, are so valuable, because we try to mirror STAR as much as we can. And so we see how the students are doing on those DBAs, and that gives us an indication, right?
Yes, we're usually pretty close to how they do on STAR. So they're a pretty good indicator.
Okay, when we talk summer school, we talk a lot of things. Attendance, credits, having to pass the end of course exams, and having to pass STAR. So let's start with the first summer school we're going to begin with, and that's in June.
That's in June. Starting the Tuesday. The teachers will start on Monday, the kids start on Tuesday after they get out. So it's pretty immediate, and that's for grades 5 and 8, and then the EOC high school, because they have to retake. Those are our retake grades for STAR. So they have to come to school immediately. They'll go for 9 days, and then the following week after that last week of June, is where they'll take the retest for STAR. So
we're talking about June the 10th is the first summer school for 5th and 8th graders. And those 5th and 8th graders have to pass that STAR test. Let's talk about where you're going to hold the 5th graders and the 8th graders this year.
Well, we're going to try something a little different. What we'd like to do, instead of having our 5th graders or our 8th graders spread out all over the district, we're actually going to host, CCMS is going to host our 5th graders. So they're all going to be at a middle school campus on one wing, and we're kind of trying to send that message. This is where you want to be. We're going to treat you like big kids. You're ready to go to middle school. We want you to pass and be successful. And then we're doing the same thing with 8th grade, following the feeder campus pattern. So if your 8th grade student is going to Waco High or UHS, once they pass, that's the campus that they're going to attend summer school on. So we're really excited about those changes.
Right. So the 5th graders at Cesar Chavez Middle School, and then the 8th graders at the high school campus they're going to be at, because we want to really treat those kids like it's time that you get out of the 8th grade and get to high school.
You can do this, and we want them, that's where they want to be, so we want them to be able to go to summer school there and also have some experiences on on a higher level campus.
Okay, also in June, as you mentioned, high schoolers get a chance to earn credits, or also prepare for that end of course exam they may not have passed earlier in the year. Let's talk about those dates. I believe June the 16th for about 2.5 weeks.
Right. And then they'll have the opportunity to test at the same time that the 5th and 8th graders do. That entire week is testing.
Because there is a meaning to all this madness, because those two summer schools are first, because we know that retest date is fast approaching.
It's fast. Those testing dates are set by the state, so we can't change those. And so we really only have those 2 weeks between our actual school year ending and the retakes to review as much as possible and go over and plug in some of those basics, those things that maybe we missed before.
Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is very important, because it's a little bit different for grades 1 through 4 and also for 6 and 7, I believe. Their summer school is going to be in July.
And that is something different from the way it's been in the past. And the reasoning is because They're burnt out, a lot of it. They don't have the retest, so we don't have that anymore to really worry about. So grades 1 through 4 and then grades 6, 7 don't have to take that retest in June. So what we would like to do is give them a break from the school year, give the teachers a break from the school year. That gives us more time to organize the curriculum, train the teachers, let the teachers lesson plan. So everybody gets a nice break. We come back in June and just review. It's going to be a summer camp. So it's going to be fun. It's not going to be, what's previously known as your drill and kill. This is going to be a fun summer camp. We're going to tie in a lot of themes to the learning, and so we're hoping it's a place they're going to want to come, and it's going to bridge that summer. So we're not hitting summer school right after and then having 2 months of, to forget what we've learned. We're going to have a break. We're going to come back and learn and review and refresh, and then we've got another break before school starts. So I'm hoping that they'll really enjoy that.
And those are for students particularly who didn't pass some tests or had some attendance problems, right?
Either it may be grade failures, it may be attendance, or it could be STAR. If they have failed a STAR test, they will also be invited to summer camp.
Right. And you talk about it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be somewhat intensive because it's 2.5 weeks.
It's 2.5 weeks.
And it's full days too, right?
Right. It's going to be from 8 to 2 for those grade levels, and our goal is to review the things that they missed on STAR. So we're really looking at what exactly does that student need. Each individual student, what do they need? What are they missing? What do they need practice on? With third grade, it's always inferencing for the ELAR classes, and so we're going to be working on some of those skills.
And let's also talk about lunch, because most of these campuses, if not all of these campuses, are summer feeding spots, part of that USDA program.
Yes.
So lunch is just part of the daily schedule, and it's provided.
Yes, absolutely. So they'll come for breakfast and lunch.
Very good. Let's talk about something else that's going on through the summer, and that's for English language learners, and also something called the Accelerated Program. Let's start with ELL.
Okay. That is for kinder through 5th grade, and that's going to be hosted on the Lake Area Montessori campus. So all of your ELL students will come, and their schedule is a little different. It's a longer time period. They won't have that Monday off. The teachers will be trained the previous week. They will start on Monday, and they will go from 8 to 3:30, so it's a longer day. And it's the entire month of June, and I believe the first couple of days in July. And Betty Sandoval would be the person to talk to about that. She is just phenomenal. But yes, she's already started planning, way back in January, like I did. And then the Accelerated program is going to be hosted at Lake Air as well. Previously, we'd only offer that to your middle school grade levels, and those are students that at some point in time between kinder and 8th grade, they were retained for whatever reason, and now not only are they caught up, but they're passing all their STAR tests, they're passing all their classes, and they want to accelerate a grade level. So we're offering that during that month, and it's going to be a longer camp because they have a whole year of instruction to try to fit in, and so that's what that program is going to be for. But it's extended all the way down to 1st grade this year. So.
We have covered a lot of information, and incidentally, all of the information we're talking about here, including a replay of this interview, will be available on the Waco ISD website at wacoisd.org/summer14. That's wacoisd.org/summer14. But let's talk about, because we have so many things going on this summer in summer school, we need teachers.
We need teachers.
And right now, you're putting out a plea for teachers.
I'm putting out a plea for teachers. You can teach summer school in June and in July. So there's a lot of opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially that summer camp. A lot of the campuses, the elementary campuses, have opted to host summer school themselves. So we have a few campuses that are partnering. We have a few campuses that are doing their own summer school because teachers tend to want to teach on their campus in their own classrooms, and so that's an option. So we're hoping that we'll get more teachers in so that we can keep the class sizes small. We really want these summer school class sizes to be very small so that you can really work one-on-one or in small group with those students. Students want to come to where they feel comfortable. They want to come to their home campus. So those are options, and all of that will be on the website so you can see where they need to go to summer school. But we want teachers, we need leads, which is our, essentially like a summer school principal. So those applications will be available very soon.
Very good. And of course, teachers out there, Pennie Graeber needs you,
Please
so keep
give me a call.
looking for her emails and looking for her web posts. Let's see, let's talk about fish camps, because after all of the summer school, it's going to be time to get ready for a new school year.
All those 8th graders are going to pass.
That's
and
right.
they're going to be ready for high school.
That's right. And incoming 9th graders, it's so important for them to attend what we used to call fish camp. It may still be called fish camp. Sometimes they're called summer institutes or whatever.
It's your incoming, 9th graders is really what it's for. We in the office, we just call it the transition camp. They're moving from middle school to high school, and UHS and Waco High have their own programs, and it's just students come in, and it's not only to kind of prep them for the courses that they're going to be taking, but get used to the scheduling and the campus itself, and meet the teachers, and all of those sorts of things, just to familiarize themselves before they start at the beginning of the year in August with everybody else. So.
It's important to note that at the time of this interview, the summer camps, or I should say the fish camp dates have not been set yet, but chances are we're talking about mid-July, mid to late July.
I think UHS typically, I think last year they ran for about 3 weeks. Waco High, we haven't set those dates, but we're actually working on that right now. We're talking human resources today, actually, and Waco High later on this week. So we'll have those dates rolling out here pretty soon.
Let's talk communication with parents, especially with maybe a parent of a child who is struggling a little bit. At what point will they know that their child needs to attend summer school?
Now is really when it starts. By the end of the 4-6 weeks, those report cards come out. And so the campuses start, over the next couple of weeks. I know a lot of campuses try to have them all done by spring break. Some are waiting for the district-based assessment data to come out. But they start those conferences now. If these students might be failing, so if it looks like, if they're on the borderline or they're currently failing, parents will be called in, students will be called in, and they'll have a conference, and they'll let you know, currently your child, is not passing a particular course or several courses, or they're at a 69 or a 71, so they're close, and so that notification's going out right now. And then once you get your STAR data back, that testing data, that will tell you whether or not your child's going to be invited. And by the end of the 5th 6 weeks, you'll be getting notification.
Very good. What you're telling me is no surprises. Parents will know.
No surprises.
Yeah.
They should know. They should, several phone calls, several, asked to come in for conferences, lots of notification.
You have done a lot of work, Pennie, and I really appreciate what you've done to get ready for summer school. Again, we've been talking all about summer school on this edition of Know Your Schools on WISD TV. Anything else that you can add as you get back to work now, because your work is not done? You continue to work every day on this.
Every day. I'm excited. I've learned a lot. Summer school, it's not something you plan the last month of school. It starts with everybody in January, but I started working on it even, first semester, thinking about all these different things. But I have so much help. There's so many fabulous people that are involved in this process, and we really are trying to make it fun and exciting and as educational as possible. We're trying to really hone in on what each student needs, and so I'm excited. We need teachers. We need excited teachers. So apply, please. And if you have any questions, just call. Do not hesitate to call or email me at any time.
Very good. Again, this is Pennie Graeber. Pennie, on a personal note, you've been with the district now 4 years?
4 years.
How did you get to Waco?
My husband's job changed. He was working in Austin, and I was working as a teacher in an IS in Manor, which is right outside of Austin, for about 10 years. And he just decided that he was going to change careers. So he went from corporate world to being a police officer. So he's actually an officer here in Waco.
Very good. Nice to have your family here.
We're excited to be here. We love it.
Thank you so much. Pennie Graeber, for the great
Appreciate
job
it.
you're doing. Again, you've been watching Know Your Schools, all about summer school. And be sure to go to www.wacoisd.org/summer14 to see this interview again and to find out more information about where your child will be attending summer school. My name is Dale Caffey, and we'll see you next time.